All right, look what we have here. Gonna make a comparison video of the Gibson Hummingbird and my Martin D28. So here are the two. Now here's the thing. I didn't expect to ever have this combination. I always in my head, my mind, I thought you usually get one or the other, and most people tend to gravitate either to the Martin camp. They either have like 10 Martins or three Gibsons. I don't know how that works out, but usually they have like a J45 or something. I've always been a fan of the smaller bodied guitars for years, and made the switch to a Dreadnought a couple of years ago. And then I've always wanted a Hummingbird. Keith Richard had one and just had this like rock and roll vibe, even though I'm more of a blues player. And the Hummingbird's like more warm. I gave it a shot, and actually I postponed it for a few years. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. It was either too expensive or whatever reason. I just didn't do it. And then finally, a couple of months ago, I saw this ebony Hummingbird. They're not very common, and I love black guitars, and I knew I had to have one. So I got it from Reverb, and it's fantastic. So let's do some chords with the guitars. Both of them have new strings on. We'll start with the Hummingbird, and we'll see how that sounds. Hummingbird. Beautiful, very warm, kind of like a grand piano sounding. Very beautiful guitar and warm, and almost damaged it as I'm saying that. Here's the Martin D28. Wow. It's more sparkly, definitely a lot of sustain too. Very sparkly sounding. I think the kind of wood, I think this is mahogany. I think this is mahogany all around, which gives it this like warm, mellow sound. You can still finger pick on it and everything, but it's not exactly the same. It doesn't have that like spark. It doesn't have that bite as much. It's more like I would describe it like taking a spoon of Nutella, if you like chocolate, like I do, putting it in your mouth. Whereas the D28 is more like into like biting into a Kit Kat bar. There's like that snap, like that crunchy snap. That's more like the D28. So here's a good song to actually do. Let's do Blackbird, because you can. Blackbird I think was played by Paul McCartney on the White Album. I think he was using a D28, I think, or 18. Most likely D28. He was playing it around that time. So listen to the difference. Actually, let's do the D28 first, Blackbird on that, because that's gonna sound more familiar. And that's a really good song to know, that to be able to tell the difference between the two guitars. So here's Blackbird with the D28. Well, I don't remember that song note for note, but that's the general gist of it. a little bit more of like that, a little bit of sparkle in it. So I don't know. They're both beautiful. They both sound different to me. That's why I can't just, because I thought about it every time I buy a new guitar, I'm like, this is the last time. I can't believe I bought another one. It's too much. I gotta get rid of it. So then I got an older one. So then I get rid of another one and I regret it later. So with these, I couldn't decide. I said to myself, you know what? Keep both of them. Keep them both. You're single right now. There's nobody's gonna say like how many guitars you have. It's happened in the past. There are times I've had guitars, I've bought guitars, I've sold guitars, and I've been asked by a significant other. She was like, "Why do you have so many guitars?" We've all been there, and then it became a point where I was selling guitars, and she was like, "Are you losing money on these?" And that was a whole different argument. So let's not go there. Right now, I have the luxury of being able to keep them without having to answer anyone. So anyway, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Which one do you prefer? For me, I like both. But if you had to make me pick, first of all, another thing I forgot to mention is this one has electronics in it. The Martin doesn't, but that's easily remedied. You can always add them later. I don't know. For me, I think at home I like playing the Martin, and if I was at a show, I'd probably take this one out. It's just gorgeous. But if I had to absolutely pick, it's such a tough one. It really, really is. It's one of those things where I would alternate for a few days trying to answer. Here's what I'll say. I'll say if you blindfolded me and you told me you can't touch the headstock, you can't even hear them, you have to just flip a coin, I would be happy with either result. I would still end up with one guitar, and let's just say I would be happy with either result. So